your goal in the job. Do
I
you
see.
just want to get a job, or do you really want to continue to grow and excel in your field?
Mm-hmm.
So that passion can drive you, and in any interview, the interviewer will actually feel
Mm-hmm.
whether uh, you are truly passionate about the job, or you just want a job.
Ken, thank you so much for taking the time.
You're welcome. You're happy to be here.
Um, can you introduce yourself, please?
So yeah, sure. I'm Terrence Chung. I work for Oracle in the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Division as a cloud security architect.
Great. What is a cloud security architect?
So cloud security architect is someone who actually help identify the cloud environment and looking for areas that can improve on the security aspect, such as making it safer environment to protect the customers' data and information.
Um, has it been a trend that more and more companies are moving to the cloud now?
It has been a trend for a number of years, and we're seeing that it's actually picking up as the cloud technology has matured. So more and more larger companies are migrating to or transitioning to the cloud environment.
And what are the drivers for that trend?
So number one is actually cost savings. It's
Cost
definitely
saving.
a lot cheaper uh, running your business in the cloud rather than buying your own equipment, managing your own data center.
Mm,
So aside from that is also the flexibility of cloud technology. So instead of managing your physical, appliances and servers,
hmm
using cloud technology is a lot more flexible and scalable as well.
And so I guess you work with third parties then, and by introducing Oracle solutions to them.
I primarily work with customers directly.
Right.
We have a lot of partners as well, so once in a while I do work with partners to help customers.
I see. And I guess what industry are they in, or pretty much across the board?
Across the board. So anywhere from healthcare to automotive to finance and other businesses.
I see. And how long have you been with Oracle now?
So I've been with Oracle for a little over 2 years, and prior to that, I was working for different security companies.
I see. So, how do you like working at Oracle?
I love it. So it's actually a lot of fun working for a big company like Oracle. You get to help different customers every day, large companies with very complex networks. So
Hmm.
that's one of the challenge I like. I really like working with complex problems and help customers solve these problems.
I see. I see. Um, what is Oracle known for in the marketplace? Is security one of their kind of strength? What's their core?
So Oracle started out as a database company.
Oh,
As,
okay.
so when you talk about Oracle, everyone automatically thinks about database, but over the years it has evolved into more of a data company, not just database data and data security, and there are also a wide range of business applications,
I see.
cloud-based business applications that Oracle offers. And we started offering, public cloud solution about
Hmm.
5 years ago. So there's a new cloud division that basically let customers run their business in our cloud.
I see. You compete directly with AWS, Amazon, or
Correct.
other cloud providers?
Yes. So we're in the same category, public cloud vendors as AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google, GCP. But our focus is, a little slightly different in the sense that Oracle has a lot of large enterprises like the Fortune 2000 companies.
Mm-hmm.
So our primary focus is to help our customers transition to the cloud instead of building a general cloud for everybody. So the focus is, number one, help our customers,
Mm-hmm.
and then help other customers as well. They're currently not yet Oracle customers.
I see. I see. What is your day-to-day like?
It's actually fun. I start every day with meetings with customers and going
Nice,
over their architecture and design and either help them identify areas that can improve on the security part or solve some problems that might encounter.
mm-hmm.
So it's actually exactly what I like to do, which is to solve problems, right?
I see.
So nothing better than that. You get to do what you love and get paid for it.
Nice. So no 2 days are the same, really.
No,
Right?
no.
That was okay. Awesome. And if someone were want to get into Oracle, what tips do you have for them? What does Oracle look for, from a candidate?
So Oracle is such a big company. There are really all kinds of roles and positions.
I see. Yeah.
But first and foremost, it's a technology company.
Yeah.
We still have a lot of focus on database.
Mm-hmm.
So it's someone who is interested in being a database related professional.
Mm-hmm.
They can start learn more about database and database management. But as you just mentioned earlier, that now all the companies are shifting to the cloud. So is Oracle. We're shifting our focus and putting a lot more emphasis on cloud-related technology. So someone who who is interested in working for Oracle can look into cloud as a career as well.
Mm-hmm.
So picking up and learning about cloud and cloud security.
I see. And during your interview process, besides the technical part, is there anything you could share, with people on how to overcome the interview and potentially, get a job? Is there anything that is non-technical, leadership principle and whatnot that they ask or look for in a candidate?
So I think the primary thing is actually your experience match the job that you're applying
Okay.
for, right? So that's the
Okay.
most important thing, looking for the right match,
Right.
as well as your goal in the job. Do you
see.
just want to get a job, or do you really want to continue to grow and excel in your field?
Mm-hmm.
So that passion can drive you, and in any interview, the interviewer will actually feel
Mm-hmm.
whether you are truly passionate about the job, or you just want a job.
Right. Right.
So
I see.
yeah, that's important.
I see. And what would be the career path for a cloud security architect?
So there are two things that actually make up this cloud security architect's background. Number one is your understanding of the cloud technology overall.
Mm-hmm.
So what cloud is about, or the different components that make it up. Any cloud. So all the clouds are fairly similar
I see.
in terms of the underlying technologies. The other part is actually have good knowledge of those different security solutions, security components that can be applied to in a cloud environment.
I see.
So that can come from either through learning through different courses, certifications. If you have the opportunity, then maybe get some job experience
Right.
to help with that.
I see.
That definitely will help. So there's a shortage of professional in this field.
Is
So
that? Oh, really?
yeah, so definitely, um, if you have the right background and right experience, you can definitely have a really good opportunity to get into this field.
I see. And looking, for the next, 3, 4, 5 years, you think that the demand for this skill set is going to continue to
Oh,
grow?
yes, it is going to continue to grow. The shortage of cloud security related positions has been growing over the
Wow,
years.
wow, wow, great. Yeah, let's talk about how to get into this field. Let's start with schooling. What did you major in school, and what kind of position did you start with in your, first professional career?
So I actually I was a computer information system or management information system major. So it's more of a blend of computer and business major,
I see.
as opposed to the more technically focused computer science. The computer science is more focused on mathematics and methodologies of programming.
Right.
But MIS or CIS in this case is a blend of is more of a focus on using technology to improve processes or automating business processes.
Got it.
So
Got
I
it.
started out as a MIS CIS major, but I always have this passion for computer stuff.
I see.
So and I was lucky when I was in high school. You know, this is some time ago. The school actually offered free programming classes for students.
Oh, I see.
So that's when I first get exposed to computer programming.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. I see. And that's great. That's good to know. And is there a good degree that is perfect for this cloud security architect career path, or not really? I mean,
So a good technical degree is definitely going to help you build a strong foundation
okay,
to get into technology field.
okay,
Whether it's a computer science or even a math major, right? So
okay. I see.
you can have very strong technical foundation, because as you get into the computer field is also a fairly wide field that you can be a developer,
Right.
or you can be engineers that work with customers to implement certain solutions or to solve certain problems. So there are a wide ranging of jobs and require different background. But definitely having a strong technical background will allow you to learn things much easier, and give you the flexibility to pick and choose what roles you want to be in as well.
I see. And did you start your career in the security field, or was it something else?
I started in IT in general when I was in college.
Okay.
Again, I said, I really love to play with computer stuff.
Yeah.
So when I was in college, I make an effort to get IT jobs on campus. So I was
Oh,
lucky
okay.
enough that I was working in the school's IT department.
I see.
At that time, basically supporting, the staff and professors in the schools to,
see.
fix computer problems and dealing with computers in the labs and things like
I
that. So
see.
that's where I built my experience. And then after college, I got my first job in IT as well.
Okay.
So that's how I started. Definitely having some experience, even on campus, helps you have an edge when you go out in the field to apply for jobs.
Right. Right.
So any chance you can get to get your hands on, these related experience is going to help.
Right. Right. Uh, Technology is a really big field. And what are some of the areas within technology that you see are growing pretty fast right now?
Um, So one of the fastest area is definitely has to do with uh, development and operations in the cloud.
Mm.
Right? So slightly different from your traditional programming. So this has to do with um, building applications, building processes in a cloud environment, and how to manage it in a cloud environment as well.
Mm.
So those are the strongest area of growth
Mm.
currently. And of course, as we mentioned, security in the cloud as well. Because as
Mm-hmm.
more and more companies are moving to the cloud, there isn't enough, um, I guess, candidates
Mm-hmm.
that has the good background to support that. As people are still transitioning, still learning, from traditional IT to learn about the cloud technology, um, but the the demand outpaced
Right.
the supply.
Right. Right. Um, does it require a lot of certifications and such in that field?
Certification definitely help if you don't have experience.
Okay.
It's a way to prove to potential employers that you have the knowledge
I see.
and background.
Uh-huh.
um, so yes, certification is definitely um, sort of like a shortcut in the sense that
Right.
if you just fresh out of college, you
Yeah.
don't have real world experience.
Mm-hmm.
Certification is actually a proof that you you have the knowledge to do the job.
Right.
Now, if you already have some experience, certification actually will also help you stand out from other candidates, right? So if other candidates have similar background, but you have the certification to prove that, hey, you've gone through the tough exam to prove that you're truly an expert in this particular field. So it make you stand out as well. So a lot of companies do look for, uh, if they have a choice, they look for people with the right experience with certifications.
What are some of those certifications that are really highly valuable in the marketplace?
So for more vendor-specific certifications, like the AWS have, just like Microsoft Azure, they have, more than 10 different certifications.
Hmm.
Those can definitely help you, really depending on your path. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to do, you know, development, DevOps, security, or general solutions architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you pick a particular vendor, uh, then you can look for jobs specifically looking for that vendor's environment. But those skills are actually transferable, right? So if you get a certification in vendor A, um, the basic understanding and knowledge of that particular cloud can is transferable to a different cloud.
Got it.
But for more generic certification, like
Mm-hmm.
the CompTIA Plus, which is a vendor neutral
I see.
certification. So they give you, if you get a security certification from CompTIA Plus, then it talks about uh, cloud security that is vendor neutral. It can be because the foundational, knowledge is the same. Only each vendor has their own little twist.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, recommend people, do that instead of more, unless you want to work for customers that run a particular vendor environment.
Right. Right.
But the CompTIA Plus, whether they have several different certifications. If you can get
See.
those, then you can apply to any job.
And what would be the starting position in this career? I know you've been around for a while and you're
Right.
not an architect, but that's probably not a starting position.
So definitely start with like a cloud-related engineer position,
Cloud-related
whether
engineer.
you're a cloud operator or cloud engineer, which is a more generic
Hmm.
title.
I see.
Really depending on the company requirements, you might do different jobs.
I see.
Then once you get into this cloud engineering field, then you can more put your focus on a particular, like the security aspect of the job.
I see.
So you always have to start with something, especially with, if you don't have the experience to start with, then you start with a more general role,
I see.
and then slowly, focusing on the area that you're interested in,
I
and
see.
become a specialist in that area.
Uh, are college degrees and GPA still very important in getting a job in technology field or your field?
Some of the companies are still actually looking uh, at college degree and GPA.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much GPA, but a college degree definitely as one of the requirements.
Okay.
Um, Especially bigger companies, they tend to have a higher
Mm-hmm.
requirement,
Mm-hmm.
but not necessarily. So because as I mentioned, there's a shortage of professional in this field. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have the right skills, some companies will be willing to overlook if you
Mm-hmm.
don't have the right degree or the right GPA.
I see. I see. And you share that you major in MIS and you're now working in cloud security. Um, that is, it's not directly related to your major, or at least you didn't learn that in school. So assume that you have to spend quite a bit of time kind of learning things on your own.
Correct.
How important is it that one has to continue learn new technologies? How important is that?
It is extremely important in this field. Uh, as we all know, the technology is actually changing very quickly, right? You
Right.
have to keep updating yourself to keep up with the changing technology. Um, so, but if you're passionate about this particular field, you always want to learn, the next, new thing, right?
Yeah.
The new, better and improved version of what you're using today.
Right.
In a sense, it's a good investment to continue to learn the new skills, and it actually opens up more doors as well.
Right.
If you think about changing to a different area in your particular position,
Right.
with the new skills will actually
Right.
help you accomplish that easier.
I see. I see. And do most people kind of they have to come up with they have to do that with their own initiative, or the employers push them or encourage them?
I would say you have to take the initiative, but most companies will also support you.
Okay.
So, like for example, Oracle, the company actually require us to get certain certifications,
Right.
and of course, Oracle has on Oracle universities. We have these training courses to help us learn these new skills.
Yeah.
But the company also pay for courses that are not available on Oracle University. They also pay for the certification exam fees as well.
I
So
see.
there are actually a lot of companies that will actually support their employees
Uh-huh.
to continue to learn and continue to grow.
I see. And for starting position, you said cloud-related engineer or cloud engineer. You have a sense of kind of what the salary range would be for a starting position?
Um, I would say probably for starting position in the cloud, I would say starting probably close to $100,000 a year.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's probably on the average side.
I see.
So really depending on the company, you may get a little higher
I see.
salary.
Yeah, that's great. Um, Technology appears to be growing really fast. I mean, do you expect the pace to continue, and why do you think that's the case?
Oh, there's no question that it's gonna grow. Uh, it will continue to grow because all this new development that we're seeing today are based on, you know, the scalability of the cloud, right? So from the most basic cloud computing,
Mm-hmm.
where you run all your servers and your database and your networks in the cloud,
Mm-hmm.
to the more, um, you know, technology specific, like artificial intelligence, machine learning,
Mm-hmm.
as well as blockchain technologies. These are all, you know, being solutions are built in the cloud. So companies that want to tap into these specific specializations,
Mm-hmm.
they will have to migrate to the cloud, build their applications in the cloud.
Mm-hmm. So, I assume there'll be a lot of kind of job demands for, people with technology skill. And if, you know, someone had a child and they want their kid to start, how how soon should that kid start? At what age you think is appropriate, and where should they start within their big technology field?
I think there is no minimum age to start. Right? I think it has to do with developing a child's interest in technology.
Mm,
So you can start with that, you know, at a very young age, um, you know, to develop their curiosity and interest in, you know, technical stuff.
I see.
So, you know, today's kids, you know, they're well aware of iPhones, you know,
Right.
your smartphones, your tablets, and all that stuff. But once you're in school, you have to go a step further. Whether you're in school or you're at home, uh, your parents and teacher can come up with, um, you know, technology-focused projects or activities,
I
right?
see.
To expose the kids to, you know, this kind of thing, to actually um, encourage them to. Kids are always curious. They always want to learn how things works, right? So
Right.
something that
Right.
interests them. So that will actually help them improve their more inquiry mind.
Right.
So they want
Right.
to know how this robots works. You know, how this particular robotic car can move. You know,
Right.
little things like the little interesting projects like that
Yeah.
can develop a kid's interest in technology at a very young age.
I
So
see.
as they grow older, then you can involve them with the more complex projects and more complex activities
Right.
to further develop their skills.
Right.
So I
Got it.
think I think uh, providing that environment to develop the interest is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. I see. And if you could start over, is there anything you would have done differently to prepare yourself even better for a career in
Probably not.
technology?
I think um, no. I think I'm, you know, I'm pretty lucky that get exposure, you know, to this field early on, and then, you know, some other influences as well that
Yeah.
I got from friends and family to help me go down this path. And the important thing is, you know, finding what you like, and finding what your passion is about is the most important thing, right? Even though it may not be a straightforward path,
Right.
eventually
Right.
you'll find what you love to do. And
Right.
but again, as I said, you know, I'm one of the fortunate ones that actually get experience and exposure early on.
That's great. Any tips or advice for those who are watching this interview right now? If they are interested in getting into technology or technology field.
Oh, actually, you know, definitely. If you don't have the experience yet, definitely look into this particular field. It's actually really a lot of fun, uh, and there are so many different possibilities in this particular field. It doesn't have to be, cloud security specifically, but there are so many different interesting positions and you know, interesting challenges
Yeah,
if you love technology.
that's great. Well, I think we covered a lot today, and I feel like I've learned quite a bit from you about cloud security and technology in general. So thank you again for joining me and for taking the time. I
Yeah,
appreciate
no
it.
problem.